Girl, these peanuts I ate before recording are really hitting me in a way that I do not want to be hit. I need some water. This... Mother of God. Pokémon! Hello everyone, my name is Roberto Cristian, but you may call me Robbie for short. And today I want to cast the contestants of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star 6 as Pokémon Gym Leaders. This video comes as a highly requested sequel to one of my previous videos where I created Pokémon teams for the cast of season 13. Many of you have also requested I do this for other seasons of Drag Race, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, that way you won't miss any of my uploads. And please let me know in the comments below what other type of Pokemon content you'd like to see from me aside from Drag Race themed videos. I have a few ideas brainstormed, but I would love to hear your thoughts. I have opted for a Unova and Kalos League approach, where the first 2 gym leaders will have 2 Pokemon, the next 6 will have 3, and the Elite 4 members will have 4 each. The champion will still have a full team of 6. I will leave the full list of guidelines I used to create these Pokemon teams in the description below in case you're interested. For this Drag Race and Pokemon crossover, I also collaborated with Jake Rayburn, an aspiring illustrator and fellow Drag Race fanatic who was happy to sell this queer Pokemon fantasy by showcasing some of his drawings of each queen alongside their respective partner. You can follow Jake at spoonfulla_sugar on Instagram for more of his work. I'll leave a link in the description so you can go check him out. Needless to say, a spoiler warning is in effect for the Paramount Plus show. And without further ado, let's get started. Every queen on this cast is in the same caliber.
Except for Serena.
All jokes aside, Serena ChaCha would be perfect as a flying type trainer. Serena is of Panamanian descent, so I wanted to honor her Latin heritage in some way. Panama is a country in Central America that hosts a variety of tropical fauna, so you'll notice both of the Pokemon I chose are Alola-centric. Her team consists of Toucanon based on her unaired Hot Tropics runway. Since Serena was the first queen to be eliminated, this will be one of the few instances in which I choose a Pokemon based on an unaired look. I also gave her an Oricorio in Baile style based on her entrance look. This form of Oricorio is based on flamenco dancers, which originate from Spain. Spain was historically the main colonizer of most Latin American countries, which is why we speak Spanish and borrow heavy influences from Spanish culture. Who said queer content couldn't be educational? Our next eliminated queen is Jiggly Caliente, and yes, you may call her Jiggly. When researching her runways for this season, I kept struggling with deciding which direction to go in. I didn't want to be obvious by giving her a Jigglypuff because it's in her name, or a fire type specialty because Caliente in Spanish means hot. Jiggly was the hardest queen for me to choose a type specialty for, but I ultimately decided on Bug type. Her blue jean baby look is what cemented this choice for me. She carries a skateboard down the runway that has an alien sticker on the bottom, and the only Pokemon we know that's based on a UFO is Orbeetle. Technically, Orbeetle resembles a UFO in its Gigantamax form, but my point remains the same. It's an edgy look that reminded me of Sunny from Fortnite's Chapter 2 Season 7 Battle Pass. I also gave her a Masquerain, as it more closely matches the color scheme of her look in the variety show. Our next queen is the Reverend Dr. Silky, Nutmeg, Ganache, Boyer Chapman, Van Michaels, and every other last name you can think of. Big Silk with the good milk would be perfect as a fairy type trainer, with an almost edible team to match. Her drag name is derived from sweets, and whenever I think of sweet foods, I think of some fairy type Pokemon, though not all of her team will be food related picks. Silky's team consists of Mawile based on her entrance look. Silky has used this long bubble ponytail before on her season 11 promo look, but she elevated this hairstyle by making it even longer. It's like how Mawile develops a second, even bigger set of jaws when it mega evolves. I also gave her a Slurpuff based on her blue ball Bonanza runway. Silky in this look has a similar silhouette as Slurpuff, even having some of the circular details that make Slurpuff look like it's made out of cotton candy. Her final team member is based on her blue Beta work runway. I didn't want to go with the obvious choice of Miltank because I had already given a Miltank to Eureka in my previous video, mostly for the meme, but also because I made it plausible within the concept I created. Regardless, Miltank isn't a fairy type, but another Pokemon that is based on milk is Alcremie. Heck, its Gigantamax form is a giant wedding-style cake! But you might be wondering, Robbie, didn't you already give an Alcremie to Olivia Lux in your previous video? And to that I say, I did, but I'm gonna take this moment to retract that decision and instead give Olivia Lux a Mr. Mime, based on her performance during the improv challenge for that season. Thank you to Como MN in my comments section for pointing this out. Up next is Season 3's Miss Congeniality and Puerto Rican sweetheart, Yara Sofia, who would be an excellent Dark-type gym leader. A lot of Yara's runways have a sinister yet alluring aesthetic, and she loves wearing white-colored contact lenses. Her team consists of Lightbird, based on her red carpet premiere look, where she wears a rainbow animal print garment. Yara also wears a different animal print look during her lip sync for your Legacy performance for her win in the first episode. I also gave her a Mighty Yana in reference to the line she said when she entered the workroom. Mighty Yana is based on a hyena, which is technically not a canine, but a species all its own. Hyenas, though, are known for their wide range of sounds, including their laughter-like cries, which fits very well with the amount of noises that Yara Sofia makes in the workroom throughout the season. That was my best impression. That was amazing. Her final team member is Mandibuzz, based on her Frill of It All runway. In the episode, Yara described her hair as resembling a windmill, which is used to harness wind power, and Mandibuzz is a flying type. Mandibuzz also has a long brown tuft with a bone in the middle that extends from the back of its head, which I thought loosely resembled Yara's hair in this look. Up next, All Stars wants her, and the feeling is mutual. Scarlet Envy's team is one of my favorites as it is the first team that I came up with while I was preparing this video. During her original season, she walked the runway in a Pisces-inspired look while holding a bubble blower in each hand. Scarlet's affinity for blowing bubbles definitely made her a good candidate, an obvious choice for a water-type trainer. Her team consists of Rockwanid, based on her variety show performance, as it is classified as the water bubble Pokemon. I also gave her a Sharpedo, based on her halftime show performance. For the meme, she dressed up as Left Shark, and I felt it would have been a missed opportunity if I didn't weigh in on the joke. Her final team member is based on her Clash of the Patterns runway. This outfit is made from the letters her grandparents wrote to each other during the war. This makes Pelipper an excellent choice since pelicans are typically associated with mail delivery, as seen in Animal Crossing and the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series. Our sixth gym leader is none other than the body queen herself, Akira C. Davenport. I knew immediately that I wanted to incorporate her massive flower look, which I will cover at the end of this section, and center a Pokemon team around it. Therefore, I gave Akira a grass-type specialty. Her team consists of Ferrothorn, based on her Blue Jean Baby runway, as the spikes around its body resemble the hair buns on the top of her head. I also gave her Leavanny, based on her Clash of the Patterns runway, as this evolutionary line is associated with sewing. Sewaddle, the first unevolved form of Leavanny, is even categorized as the sewing Pokemon. Finally, her partner, and the centerpiece of this team, would be Meganium. Her Frill of It All runway reminds me of Meganium under the effects of the Illumina phenomenon seen in New Pokemon Snap, which you can see my boyfriend's mom play in one of my previous videos. It's a really cute video, and she's a really charming person, so I think you would enjoy it a lot. Please go watch it. It's cute. Next up, she's back again. It's Jan. The self-proclaimed backpack queen would be a steel-type trainer. A lot of Jan's looks are very shimmery and glisten in a way that almost looks like superhero armor, like her variety show and entrance looks, for example. Plus, it helps that backpacks have zippers made out of metal. Her team consists of Klefki, based on her blue Better Work runway. The challenge for this category was to channel a profession, to which she chose a mechanic. What really solidified this choice was the chain of tools on her side that could also resemble keys, which Klefki has an affinity for. I also gave her Lucario, based on her blue jean baby runway. Lucario is a versatile and agile Pokemon, which works well for Jan, as she has expressed previously her love of sports. Her final team member is Aegislash, based on her promo look. This last choice truly highlights the reason why I chose Steel type for Jan. Her promo look reminds me of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, as Adora's weapon of choice is a sword. Aegislash's color scheme also meshes well with Jan's pastel lilac aesthetic. She has a box for delivery! Why did I pick this box out of every other box in my house? Pandora box, that was a joke. Our final gym leader is Pandora box. Pandora has a dark sense of humor and a whimsical sense of style that I think Ghost type Pokemon embody really well. There's also a joke here about how she is so old she is practically dead. Pandora's team consists of Cofagrigas, based on her oh my goth look. She walks the runway in a garment that looks like she is mourning, which makes Cofagrigas a perfect choice because of its sarcophagus-like appearance. I also gave her a Mimikyu based on her Clash of the Patterns runway. Pandora is channeling Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas with this look. Since we only ever see Mimikyu covered by a rag, it seemed fitting for this ragdoll-inspired outfit. Her final Pokemon is Poltegeist, based on her Frill of It All runway, since it best matches the look's color scheme. After 8 gym battles, we reach the Pokémon League, the toughest challenge for any Pokémon trainer who aspires to be the very best. But before earning the title of Pokémon League Champion, they must face the members of the Elite Four. In this case, the 4 runners-up from this season. We'll start with our 5th placed contestant, Trinity K. Bonet, whose fiery determination to win earned her a Fire-type specialty. I centered her team around her Drag Tots character, Fierce Felicia the Feline, for which I gave her a Pyroar. Her team also consists of Alolan Marowak, based on her tribal-inspired Clash of the Patterns runway, Delphox, based on the gorgeous gown she wore for the Frill of It All runway, and Volcarona, based on her Hot Tropics runway, as the Brazilian-style backpiece loosely resembles Volcarona's wings. Plus, I like to think her samba dancing on the runway kind of looks like Volcarona doing quiver dance. Next is everyone's favorite bridesmaid, Eureka! You found it! This country gal from Tennessee would be an excellent ground-type trainer. Their team consists of Mudsdale, based on their Frill of It All runway, as the feathering on its legs loosely resembles the ruffles on Eureka's pants. I also gave them an Alolan Dugtrio, based on their look during the Pink Table Talk Challenge, which Eureka should have won. But this is not the channel for that. Alolan Dugtrio was often made into a meme amongst the Latin community in reference to the Cinco Dias, which is funny considering what the topic of discussion was for this group challenge. Their 3rd team member is Palosand, based on the beach ball inspired look worn during the Hot Tropics runway, which works perfectly with its sand castle-like appearance. This is my favorite pairing of the entire video. It's so cute and it's so perfect. I just imagine Eureka at the beach playing with her Palosand. It is just look at the drawing that Jake made. It is so cute. I love it. Finally, the self-proclaimed Elephant Queen's team wouldn't be complete without a Donphan, which I based on their reunion look from Season 9. Most frog and toad-like creatures in Pokemon are water types, but Scarlet Envy is already a water type gym leader for this season. I wanted to avoid repeat types, so I decided that our 3rd Elite Four member, Ginger Minj, should be a poison-type trainer. Her team consists of Toxicroak, based on her entrance look, and her self-proclaimed title of Glamour Toad. I also gave her a Galarian Weezing, based on her Frill of It All runway, and Scolipede, based on her Clash of the Patterns runway, as she kind of looks like a villager from Animal Crossing ready to catch bugs. Her final team member is Venusaur, based on her Hot Tropics runway, as its bumpy skin and toad-like appearance fit well with Ginger's Glamour Toad brand. Our final Elite Four member is our favorite salty homegirl, Raja D. O'Hara. Don't worry, she's sweeter than before. This newly redeemed queen spent her time in the season making purple her signature color, for which I assigned her a psychic type specialty. Raja's team consists of Galarian Slowking, based on her Clash of the Patterns runway, as the head wrap loosely resembles the shell on top of Slowking's head. I also gave her a Bruxish, based on her Hot Tropics runway, and a Malamar, based on her Oh My Goth runway. Lastly, I centered her team around her Dragtots character, I See a Queen, for which I gave her a Sigilyph. This look reminded me a little of Ganache from Steven Universe, as she is wearing multiple eyes all over this purple garment, similar to how Sigilyph has 2 eyes on its body and a third on the appendage on top of its head. At last, we have reached our final challenge. One last hurdle stands before you on your journey to becoming the next Pokémon League Champion. Much like Blue in the first generation of games, Kylie Sonique Love has a balanced team of heavy hitters and tanky defenders. I will cover the members of this team in chronological order in which the runways these Pokémon are based on appeared on the show. Starting with Kommo-o. I really wanted Kylie to have a pseudo-legendary Pokemon on her team since I didn't give one to Simone in my previous video, and almost every champion has one on their team. I based this choice on her promo look, as the foxtails around her arms sort of resemble Kommo-o's scales. She would later use these same foxtails during her pop art runway, though I presumed she dyed them with reddish tones for the promotional shoot after the season was done filming. Her next team member is Blizzy, based on her Redemption runway, which was a redemption of her Snatch Game look from when she unsuccessfully tried impersonating Lady Gaga on her original season. The feathers around this look loosely resemble the wing-like tufts that grow on Blizzy's shoulders and hips. Blizzy's evolutionary line is often seen alongside Nurse Joy in the anime, and tends to be nurturing to others, which I like to think is the reason why Kylie would be so drawn to one, since she typically takes on a motherly role throughout the season. Now I want to focus on covering some of the weaknesses of these 2 Pokemon. Based on her Frill of It All runway, Kylie's third team member is Togekiss. Togekiss is a fairy and flying type Pokemon which covers Blizzy's fighting type weakness and Kommo-o's dragon type weakness. Togekiss has 3 spikes on the back of its head, one of which is tipped red and the other tipped blue, as well as red and blue triangular markings over its underside that I like to think represent the transgender flag. I am aware that the trans flag has pink and baby blue colors, but this is a loose interpretation after all. Next, I want to cover Kommo-o's weakness to ice and psychic, and a perfect Pokemon for that is Houndoom, based on her Oh My Goth runway. She is wearing a black bodysuit, if we can call it that because it is very revealing, and arm-length gloves with a red line for added detail. Houndoom matches this look's color scheme really well, and the buns on top of her head sort of resemble Houndoom's horns. Houndoom also provides coverage against pesky steel types that threaten Togekiss. Kylie's second to last Pokemon is Gourgeist, which I based on her Dragtots character Misbehave. Witches and pumpkins are typically associated with Halloween, and since Gourgeist is categorized as the pumpkin Pokemon, it seemed like an obvious pick. Gourgeist's grass and ghost typing also provides some coverage against water, ground, psychic, rock, and ghost. Her final team member is based on her look during the lip sync for the crown performance, and fills the most important role of covering Kommo-o's quadruple weakness to Fairy. And that Pokemon is Toxapex. Toxapex matches this look perfectly, as it has an almost identical color scheme, and the spikes all over its tentacles are resembled by the protrusions around Kylie's dress. Its poison typing and high defensive stats make it a perfect counter for fairy types. Couple that with its signature ability Merciless, which makes attacks from the user become critical hits if the target is poisoned, and you have a very deadly opponent. Amazing team. It's been lovely getting to research and relive some of the moments from this season, and I am so proud of the Pokemon teams that I created for each of the queens. Congratulations to Kylie Sonique Love for this amazing achievement. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments, and let me know which Drag Race season you'd like me to do next. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and as always, I appreciate you being here. Bye!